Welcome everybody to today's flash class, Fill Your Next Event with Influencer Marketing. So we want to welcome all of you that are with us. We're here to show you some of the cool things that we do with the Forward Progress and Social Jack event team. Has put together a group of things that they think that are super helpful. Now, we only have about 20 minutes or so, and we'll stay on for extra questions because we know everybody that runs events have different ways that they want to handle events, and there's different types of events. So what we've done is basically pull out of our system the very best ways that we know to actually fill events, and then create the highest level of engagement at events. So let's go ahead and get started. So those of you that don't know me, my name is Dean Delisle. I'm founder and CEO of Forward Progress and creator of Social Jack. And Forward Progress has been around for over 15 years now, and Social Jack a little over 5 years. And the difference is Forward Progress is a digital marketing company, and we specialize in influencer marketing and development. What does that mean? We'll talk about that in a minute. But then Social Jack is an influencer development platform. So many of you are looking to boost the influence of your company, your products, your brand, your people, or yourself. And so Social Jack provides a ton of training around that. And we have workshops, and we have packages that if you want to become an influencer in 90 days, we offer that. And we're always happy to answer questions about that. And we've been around for a while, and our focus is typically on B2B. So welcome everybody. Okay, so if you want to engage with us, those of you that have been around for a while are already chatting in the questions area of the GoToWebinar taskbar. There's a questions box there. So if you could type in the what type of events do you do? Do you do community events? Do you do conferences? Just type that into the taskbar, if you will. So do you just do online events? What kind of events do you typically do? Small events, conferences, maybe you do meetings. Meetings are classified as events. And what we're going to talk about today qualifies for all the above. Okay, so it looks like some people are doing webinars, small events and forums, meetings, online on-site workshops. Good stuff. Roger, sounds like you and I, maybe that's why we get along so good, and we hang out so well together. We do the same type of pattern of online and on-site events, so super cool. For sure. And I do want to thank our loyal followers that have been with us through thick and thin out there. So thank you again for coming back, and thanks to the new people that are with us. All right, so ask us anything that you want during the session, and we'll try to get to all questions. This afternoon, real quick, we have a content creation and marketing for brand building that is we're gonna hear from Starbucks, Denny's, and Be the Match, which is a nonprofit. This is pretty good. So if you like, we will automatically register you unless you type into the questions area. Just type in opt out, and we won't. But the reason is we want you to get this recording. You're going to hear 3 case studies that are everybody's saying register me. Yes, we'll register you. We do that as a courtesy for folks, and it's easier to just get the 1 or 2 that don't want to attend. But you're going to hear from Starbucks, you're going to hear from Denny's, and Be the Match on case studies around content creation, marketing, and for actually building your brand. So it's going to be super cool. So there you go. Hey, Marcia, good to see you on with us today. Okay, let's get rocking. Those of you that have been around us know that social networks, we see all social networks as events. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be showing you how to take your event to the next level. And essentially what we're going to be doing is taking your event and connecting it to other events. So you know how you go to networking events, and you may even go to other networking events and go, hey, I have an event coming up. Would you like to go to this event? And so you'll do that in conversation. Sometimes you'll be You might even have a table at an event which is specifically designed to get people from the event that you're at to the other next event that you're going to have. Totally cool. Everybody does it, but that's sort of like event jumping, event hopping, you know. And so what we say is social networks like Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, yes, even Snapchat, Instagram. All those social networks are nothing more than events. In those events, you can actually invite people to your event. Not only that, but bring your event and externalize it. So we're going to give you a couple cool things that we do about this. We talked about influence. And so what is a business influencer? Well, first and foremost, each and every one of you on with us today are influencers. Congratulations. And as you're working on events, you're increasing your influence with sponsors, with speakers, with attendees, with partners that are part of that event. And so as a business influencer, you want to make sure first and foremost that you look your very best so that you can attract this as you're organizing your event. So always remember, dress yourself first before you have everybody else dress up related to your event. What do we mean by that? Well, business influence means that you are buttoned up and you look good. So if you're holding a conference for a specific thing, you need to make sure that people know you're serious. So even if you belong on a board and you do this a couple times a year, you need to make sure the board is listed in your LinkedIn profile at the very least. You need to let people know that you're connected to that. It's not like, oh my gosh, you know, the typical thing that the groups that come to us have annual events, and they typically are like, all of a sudden the board is like, oh my gosh, we got to do this event. They scramble, and then we start, you know, our job is, you know, and hopefully we get a little more time. I'm going to show you some timelines here in a minute, but hopefully you get a little more time than just 30 days. But we've had people come to us 30 days and they need us to put 100 people in the room. Well, influencer marketing means that we're going to connect the board members, we're going to connect the staff, the team, the people that are at the heart and wanting to make sure that event happens, the marketing team, vendors, sponsors. Well, we need to make sure that at least the people that are organizing it or running it look good first. And this is for reputation, visibility, but also people build trust and they're like, oh my gosh, they're all in. It's listed on their profile. They must really care about this conference or this organization. Some of you are within a company and that event happens within your organization. And so you want to make sure that you really push this out and you talk about the event as an active part of your profile. This is something that you're invested in. So yeah, I say post it in the body. I think you talk about it. So Shirley, I'm going to get into some of these. So good questions coming in on this. Okay, so let's talk about the vehicles of digital influence. Like, what can we use? Well, we talked about social media. Email is obvious, although it's inbox to inbox or outbox to inbox, depending on how you look at that. And if we have time, we'll tell you some of our sort of insider tricks. It was tough last night. I was going back through it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to show them so many things, but we only have 20 minutes. So I'm going to talk fast. We're recording this, and then we're also going to stick around and answer some questions. So you should have a blog. You should have somebody that's prepared to write about the event before and after. And we want to make sure that you have lots of images. So maybe collect of images from previous events or that event previously. Video is pretty kicking. You know that if you've gone to our events, you'll see that we have videos set up all the time. So we have step and repeats, which are the patterns on the back. We're interviewing people. We have the lights on, and we're really getting people engaged. And some of that is to get people engaged at the event, but also for the next event. We're actually planning for the next event at every event we do. Webcast or you know, a streaming. So you want to make sure you have that capability. Is your event enclosed and confined with the people that are there? Or are you going to broadcast out to others that cannot make that? And are you going to sell tickets and charge for that? Or are you going to do that for free? And then there's podcasting. So Marsha's on with us. She has a podcast. I see some of our other podcast friends on here with us. So as podcasters, you need to be podcasting before, maybe during and after that event. Why can't, if you're a podcaster and you're part of this event, why can't you be recording a podcast and interviewing people at the event? You have a captive audience. So don't waste that time. So here's some vehicles of digital influence. So write down the ones that are most relevant to how you do your events and what you could possibly have. So we know that social media is a big event. We also know that employee advocacy is hot. So we want to make sure employee advocacy is where the people around you, and this could be internal or external, that your partners and employees are playing with you. This shouldn't be just a you project. Do you ever like do an event and feel like, oh my gosh, this is all on me to make this happen? Has anybody ever felt like that? I know I have. and we have a great team here, but I was like, you know what? I committed like 10, 15 years ago, I'm going to always have an event team. And so as long as you do that, you will never be alone at filling your event. And this is sort of the collective thing. What we do is we get people organized way ahead of the event, and we make sure that we coach and train everyone on how to play. Now, do we get everyone to play? No. If I have 10 people, I will say that if we can get 50% to play, it's a successful event. But don't tell them that. Tell them you expect them all to play. In fact, we have agreements for speakers and sponsors and people that are in the event working with us on agreements and structures of how to actually play with the event so that we can get more influence into the world and energy and activity around it so people want to be there. You want to create an event that's high energy, that actually creates a waiting list. We call that our waiting list system. So those of you that have been through it know that we have a proven influencer development system. So what we'll do is early on in the event, we will actually coach and train the speakers. We do an inventory of all the speakers. We do an inventory of everybody that's sponsors that are there. And we look at their social media, their presence. We look at who they are. And those of you that are speakers need to be aware that we and the people that are organizing events are looking at this. So please make sure you see yourself that way, because others are looking that way too. And we actually have a scoring system that we use, because we're like, if we have 20 speakers, 30 speakers, 50 speakers, we really have to focus on the ones that are already the most active. And then what we'll do is we'll coach everyone how to play. Now, do all the speakers show up and cooperate? No. But if we can get a high percentage of those speakers to play with us on social media, we have a huge jump. Now, we have a 12-week out live event marketing lifecycle. We're not going to go through this today. I'm going to take you through the most critical pieces of this and really show you those internal steps. Now, the traditional event cycle is that all of a sudden, oh my gosh, we have an event. It's coming up in 60 days. And we've gotten caught in this too. We do over 130 events online and on-site per year. We do a lot of social streaming, things for events. If you know people that need that help, you know, we're here to help to activate that event. So what happens is people are like, oh my gosh, we have to get everything together. So they'll start kicking up social media. It's funny because sometimes this is when the event pages light up. They've been dark since the last conference, and all of a sudden everybody's like, oh my gosh, let's light these pages up. So you have to make sure you're warming this up as much as possible so that you don't have this climb that you have to do to activate people in the pre-marketing part of this cycle. So make sure you're talking about your event. Like if you have an event this time next year, you should be talking about it now. You should be talking about your events as far out as you can. Save the seat, save your spot, hold the date. You've done this. You've sent out mailings and emailings. Save the date. So you want to make sure you're kicking into this. And they're telling me I'm running too far behind, so I might run over. So hopefully that's okay. But we are recording if we do run over, okay? So you have email, social advertising, and we'll talk about, I'm going to give you some steps. I broke this down into some steps. And please, you see at the end where this tapers off, keep the energy up after the event. Get someone like us or someone to help you get that event to live on. Once people leave, they forget. They get what we call airport amnesia. The minute they walk out the door, they forget 95% of what they learned. These polls have been done. So you don't want them to forget about you. So you want that sort of drip campaign after the fact, so they remember to keep, to stay in front of them. And you guys have generated tons of content at these events. Use it ongoing. It's content for your organization, for your group, for your company, whoever it is. So make sure you do that. So I'm hoping you're writing these down as I'm talking about these. So first and foremost, do an inventory. So content items are like video, images, blogs, maybe you have some PR, we do a ton of press releases around events, social media, hashtags, things like that. Make sure you have that all organized. Networks, make sure you have your speakers, your sponsors, and your attendees, and you're tagging people. So a lot of times at previous events, people have signed, like we'll have people sign a release so that we can utilize their pictures, their videos, and tag them in social media. Make sure you plan for that so you can use that content later on. So you do a whole inventory prep. The second part is to activate the network. This is what we do is we actually, we have a couple different systems where we measure who we're dealing with. So, you might be in our, what we call our A team, which are the people that rate. We have a scoring system where you'll be an A influencer. You might be a B influencer, which is our best chance to train and coach you to get you into the A team. And then you might be a C, D, or F influencer, which means maybe you don't have a social media presence, maybe, and so for those is the very reason why we developed our influencer program over the course of 90 days is because we're like, oh my gosh, I have a speaker here from a Fortune 500 company and they don't have a Twitter account, or they don't, they're not even like relevant on LinkedIn in terms of the expertise on the topic that they're speaking about. So this is super important to make sure that you look your very best as a speaker, but your speakers need to look their very best as part of your event. And yourself, people bring speakers into events to attract those people in there. So just keep that. And so you want to have some sort of a scoring system, a worksheet, something by which you take an inventory of not just those people that are that are the partners, the organizers, and things like that, but everybody related to the event. Does this make sense to everybody? I just want to make sure everybody's with me on this. So we're on step 2, and I know I'm going a little bit fast. Okay, good. So everybody's good. Just take plenty of notes on this. Good stuff, folks. Okay, so step 3, commit to engage. So you could do all the training that you want, you can do all the stuff that you want, all the content that you want, but if you don't manage engagement, it's not going to happen. So we always say at a bare minimum, kick up Twitter. Now you should have been leaking it out months ago. You saw a 12-week program out for our average event, but you should be really kicking up Twitter 30 days out, 30 days after, and there should be high energy conversations. And we're not going to go specific into those tweets just yet, but just follow some of our events and you'll see, like even yesterday during our Influence Factory, we had about, I don't know, 20, maybe 20 tweets go out total just from our channels. So, that's during a 1-hour event. So that's just one speaker, or one guest, one topic, 20 tweets. So imagine if you have 20 speakers, 3 tracks. So you want to sort of magnify that. And so what we'll do is we'll go into an event and we'll plant ourselves in the audience and we'll be tweeting out content from inside the event. This creates people wanting to be there. Sorry that they missed it. As you tweet this out, you'll be like, oh my gosh, I should have been there. That's the stuff I need to know to be successful in my business. So what we'll do is we'll plant them in there. We'll snapshot a slide. We'll tweet this out. And then people are like, oh my gosh, I have to be at the next event. So you're actually plotting sort of that desire for people to be there. We'll also have influencer takeovers. This is where if you're a speaker and you have a great social media channel, we will have certain days that honor you and ask you to take over the channel. Yes, come on in, take over the Twitter channel. Host some people on there. Remember, it's an event. So you could host people on LinkedIn, you can host people on Twitter. Twitter's probably the most famous, and then Instagram as well. But you could even do have your influencer do your speakers do little mini videos. We'll have them do vignettes, snapshots of what they're going to talk about, and we'll leak those out ahead of time. So we have pre-event engagement promotions where people, we're actually getting people engaged and having contests of things that are ahead of the event. And then you can't do enough streaming. So you see I have stream, live stream. So at the event, you'll notice that what we do is as people are coming to the event or even ahead of the event, we'll do a mini snapshot live stream with some of the speakers and some of the topics and get them to do that, sort of live video stream and talk so that people feel like, oh, well, maybe I should go there. This feels like somebody I want to listen to. And so we'll pre-stream, live stream these events. And then when we're on site, of course, when you do the live stream at the event, it makes people really want to be there. Okay, really want to, be part of that. So super quick, super important, super important. Real quick, I'm going to do a quick polling question. So if you come to our screen here, if you see the little flower or daisy, if you look at the screen right now, I'm going to launch this poll. And it's really, I want to see how many events you do, because this next segment that I'm going to go into is critical for you to sort of understand where you're at. So we have some people that say more than 10 and some people 1 to 5. And we have a small percentage. So good, everyone's actually already doing events. So this is good. Okay, so thank you for that. We only leave these up for 20 seconds because we're on limited time. Okay, so one of the things that we do and we love is we have a Social Jack event app. Now, there's a lot of apps out there. There's all kinds of ways to do this, but what this does is this increases engagement, and it provides tools for people to capture. It provides tools for people to actually capture content. So what happens is when people log in, you can do your surveys in here, you can do social media pushes in here, you can do text notifications, but here's what's cool. Before people come to the event, what we do is a matchmaking technique. So we log in and we let people pre-network coming to the event. Imagine that. People are pre-networking and post-networking. So if your event is, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, or even a week, people are trying to meet everybody, but they have to meet everybody to find the right one. Well, what if we help them pre-find attendees ahead of time? So this is something new. This is something new that's going on out there. And you don't need the mobile app to do it. You could do this manually, but we've done it manually and it's a headache. So we want to make sure that you understand the potential for doing this. So as a mobile app or for a mobile app, what do you guys use for a mobile app? So I'm going to launch this poll right now, just so that I understand who's doing mobile, who's not doing mobile. So some other cool features on mobile is not only you can put your presentations in there, PDFs in there, you can actually have obviously the image gallery. We have a ton of fun with the image gallery where we have contests, so as you're looking for engagement, you can have people that really want to, be part of that event and they want their pictures shown. And so we even had one last a few weeks ago in California, where the CEO of the group is known for walking around and just being friendly and hugging everybody at the conference, and so it's a very warm and fuzzy group. Well, we had a hugathon, so it was like, hey, if you snag, get a picture of getting a hug from Joe, put this up here, and then we'll transfer it over. So it just having fun, So the idea here is to have fun with all this stuff. Okay, post-event follow-up, I think goes without saying that that's an old thing, not a new thing, but we want to make sure that you follow up to whatever you've promised people. So like in these videos, we'll usually wait a month or so to release the videos that are taken at events because it keeps people interested. And right when they forget about the event, all of a sudden you'll be like, oh, here's, and then you'll tag them on social media and say, here's the event video that you shot, or here's the testimonial that you shot. You may want to see yourself in the video. You may want to see these photos. So right now for events we've done a month ago, we're now starting to release those photo galleries. We're starting to release those videos, and we're letting those people know that they can get those. So super cool. And stay connected with your influencers, so you can release content all year long and say, say if you missed our conference, you can get a snippet of this presentation from so and so, and tag those people in those organizations that were part of that. So hopefully that all makes sense to everybody. Okay. All right, super quick. Okay, team up with your sponsors, okay? They add existing value. So make sure as you add streaming, as you add more social, your sponsorship packages are worth even more money. So you can attract sponsors and bigger sponsors from this. Okay, and don't forget your outcome. We always look at the outcome first. I know I did some of this really fast, but events live and online, what is your outcome? Your outcome is to fill events and create a waiting list. So if you have ticket sales or invites or whatever it is, and you want that online engagement and that mobile engagement way, way, way up. Okay, so I'm just about at time. I ran a few minutes over to get questions. Also, before you guys leave, let's see if you need help with any of this stuff that I'm going to put up on the screen here. Only click on there if something that there's might be a piece. Maybe you just need help with other things, which you guys know how to get a hold of us. But just let us know. We won't waste your time. We're just here to help. We do a lot of coaching and training. Some of you just might want coaching packages. But let me talk about just a quick summary of this. So first, pre-marketing setup. So make sure you don't forget about that prep. So go back and listen to this with your team, do that pre-marketing setup. Influencer marketing has to be part of this, okay? Sean asked, does the current, okay, Sean, that's a great question. I'm going to tag that for just a minute here, okay? Commit to engage. I cannot tell you whether you're using mobile or not, and I know I say go mobile on 4. Make sure on social media, you really, really, really commit to engage with folks. And then post-event follow-up. Make sure you are part of that post-event follow-up, and don't die out after 5 days because everybody is exhausted. Have a commitment to revisit that as many weeks as possible, or hire someone to help you on that. Okay, so here, I'll put that screen up here. So there's the 5 steps. So you have those. So your assignments about this, right? Have a plan to succeed. Think about the outcome, like what I just listed first. Who are you targeting on there, and what's your offer? Why should people be attracted to you? And then get everyone to work together. Woo! Okay, so let me answer some of these questions coming in. So please ask questions. I'm on here. You've got me for a little bit more. So Sean asked an excellent question. Does the current Facebook controversy get in the way of targeted marketing? No. One of the things that that Facebook got in trouble for was selling data without permission. So what happens is, if the data is contained within Facebook and your target marketing inside Facebook, and honestly, they changed this in 2014. The big controversy is about what happened before 2014 when they leaked out and sold a bunch of data to drive their numbers up for their IPO. Honestly, that's why they're in trouble. So in that, what you want to do is make sure that as part of this, you understand that if you're going to do Facebook marketing, you can still do Facebook marketing and you can target. However, if you're doing B2B events, LinkedIn is always going to be better, but it's going to be more expensive because it's better and you have to be more tactical. So double, triple your budgets, but you're going to get a higher return or a better target. So I always say it's better to get less views, it's better to get less and pay more, but not everybody is in that position to pay more. So in the way of targeting, this isn't going to change anything. So hopefully that helps, Sean. I know you guys are involved and do a lot of events. So, but yes, but I would also consider LinkedIn target marketing for, I know, the people that you're looking to attract in there. Let's see, whatever. Okay, so does this apply to nonprofits? Yes, so everything that we talked about applies to nonprofits. So make sure that doesn't matter. So and you know what, it's interesting. So a lot of people can't afford, to hire us to help them with events. And so that's why we do a lot of these mini coaching and training things to give you ideas about what to do next. You may not be able to do, all 70 steps that we do as part of part of an event, but you are able to do one more thing you're not doing. Okay. So what would be the one thing, sort of that you do next, right? So what's one more thing that you could do that you're not doing? So type that in. I'm sort of curious, like what your takeaway is. So I covered a bunch of things, but on your list, circle one thing that you're going to do a little differently for your next event. So you're going to engage way ahead of time. That's good. You're going to look at mobile options. Good. You're going to get other people to help. Better follow-up. Yes, we all can do better follow-up. Roger, I've been doing trade shows for over 30 years, and I'll tell you, we used to actually sell a process to follow up for people. It sort of went by the wayside. Really taking it to that next level. Yeah, Shirley's Shaylee's going, why the old Twitter logo? I don't know. Jackson, we'll have to find out why the old Twitter logo. I'm not sure what the old Twitter logo is. So shows you that we'll have to put that back there. So thank you for that, Shaylee. Always like that help from our people out there. I didn't even know that was an old Twitter logo. But I know there's like 30 Twitter logos. So I think everybody gets confused. Maybe because I'm a little older. We have to have older logos. Let's see, Aline's going to contact women who attended September event to make sure they come see you on 4/9. Yes, at the conference. Awesome, Eileen. Awesome. Eva says, make sure to keep the dialogue going. Yes, for sure. That's awesome. All right, so everybody learned at least one new thing out of this, right? Perfect. All right, cool. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Thanks, Shaylee. Thanks everybody for all of your input, all of your feedback, all of your loyalty and attendance. Please don't forget to tweet us out at GetSocialJack. We love to have love online, and you'll get seen in our network. You'll be influencers in our network. So don't forget to join us at GetSocialJack on Twitter and all of our other channels. And yes, somebody says, can I connect you on LinkedIn? Yes, you may. So, and then we'll register everybody so you get the recording on this afternoon's session, even if you cannot attend. Thank you again, and we will see you all real soon online. Take care, everybody.